Good girl. Good girl.
What is he exactly? What's the breed?
She's called a Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Is it because of the line on his back?
Yeah.
And they're from Rhodesia in Africa.
Right.
And the ridge, so Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Rhodesian Ridgeback. Nice.
She's the boys are drastically bigger than the girls. So if she was a boy, she'd
Really?
the boys are huge.
Wow.
They're basically known as the lion hunters. They're like known as the most kind of powerful and fearful dogs of all the dog breeds, because they were bred specifically to protect families in Africa from lions attacking the home.
Right.
So the South African, farm colonies, whatever, they would go out on their horses with the ridgebacks surrounding them to stop the lions attacking.
Wow.
They normally raise them as packs. Packs. So when the lions
She's
come,
nearly
they
2,
attack as
and we had her since she was like 7 weeks.
I don't like the inside.
There was basically an indigenous South African dog called the Hottentot dog, which had this ridge on its back. And when the European settlers went to South Africa, they wanted to create a super dog to protect them from all the lions.
I see.
So they bred about 5 of the European strong dogs, like the Mastiff, the Doberman, the Bloodhound, all these dogs. There's about 5 of them. They bred it with the South African dog, and they created the Ridgeback.
Wow.
So they've got like all the best bits of all the strongest dogs. But they're once they're trained, they're one of the most loyal dogs to a family you can have.
Whenever we go out and then there's someone lagging behind, just to wait. Like everyone.
Where can you see?
Or the funny thing is, like if someone slips or anything, she automatically goes and tries to.
They're they're not actually very common in England. You don't see that many of them at all. But they're still used a lot in South Africa.
But
no, they still use them as.
Was that good, Jess?
protectors
Was
in-
that good?
Oh, gone. That was quick.
is it they trained to intruders?
Yeah, they have they're not trained. They have a
Very strong.
natural instinct to protect the family against intruders. We didn't train her at all to do it, but she's as dopey as anything with the family. But as soon as she thinks someone's entering the property that it shouldn't, she'll let them know. Or if she thinks someone
She's got a big bark,
looks a bit
really
dodgy.
big bark. Her bark echoes in the house.
Jesse.
Although one of the great things about a Ridgeback is that they never bark unless there's a problem. So they're not dogs that bark all day long.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not like the Chihuahuas, they
you
always
haven't heard her bark once since she's been here, but she.
Or a
If
spitz.
she has to.
Spitz is so noisy.
Yeah, we had spits before when we were growing.
I want one.
Jesse.
Where'd you get her?
What, this one?
Yeah.
Jesse.
Where'd you get her?
What a small dog.
And it's Jessie.
No, for the
She
plantation
doesn't like
in
it
the
when people are
Philippines.
shouting. So when someone's shouting, like, if you lose your temper, she'll come
She
to
gets
you.
so much. You get so much intruders
I don't even know
trying
if
to
this-
steal
Look
the.
at Cass, you just fit-
I've
you
never ever seen a single
discovered
Ridgeback
it.
in the Philippines.
Really?
No,
Jesse.
have we? Never.
Cheese!
So you guys were away. Where was Jesse?
Coming.
She stayed with a dog
In the
boarder.
farm.
Alright.
She stayed in, not a kennel, she stayed in a house.
Oh, actually, it wasn't a farm.
With
It
a
was
lady.
a big house.
Like a foster home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
She
she lived with them in the house.
She lived with her in the house.
Who's a good girl? Who's a good girl?
But
Did
but
it-
the house
did it
was
give you
back
words?
in
Who's a good
a
girl?
big, huge
Who's a good girl?
field at the back.
How do you,
Just keep
are they
them
trained
going.
to?
Nice countryside.
Do you have to get them when they're puppies?
Yeah.
Definitely. They're actually not the easiest dog in the world to train. They're,
Quite feisty
they're-
as a puppy.
that's another reason why a lot of people don't have them, because they're tough to train from the beginning, but once they're trained, they're better than any dog. But they really try. They're very independent, very intelligent, and they do try and take over and assert themselves
I didn't say
as leader of
kids,
the
I
pack.
said sit.
So you have to really make sure that they know they're not.
Good girl.
She's
Hop.
sitting down.
Good
Oh.
girl. Yes, I can.
She's as big as she.
You're so good girl.
Yeah, big dogs, aren't you?
So you said that she can't ever get her get pregnant.
No, we stopped from.
Did you have to
Oh,
do
she's
like
got a-
have an operation?
They're actually very expensive dogs. The only reason that we were able to get her for a relatively low price is because there's a very strict code of conduct with the
Looks like a
Kennel Club
lion.
of Great Britain,
Yeah.
and because she's a pure breed, you're supposed, if you breed these dogs, you're supposed to have permission from the parents' owners before you can breed. So the people we bought her off, they decided they had a Ridgeback and they decided to breed it to get some new ones with someone else's Ridgeback, but they didn't ask the parents of those dogs, of their own dogs, in other words. So, but they didn't realise that. But when they had puppies, they went to get them registered with the Kennel Club because you can make a lot of money from Ridgebacks. And the Kennel Club said, well, you need permission from the owners of your dogs to breed them. And so they went and said, oh, we didn't realise, we'll go and ask them now, sort of thing. They went and asked them and they said no. So they weren't able to register them with the Kennel Club, therefore
Disgusting,
they had to
Jess.
sell them cheaper.
Why
That's
were
what happens when
the
you keep on feeding with
the parents saying no?
Well, because
They ask permission.
whenever you breed a pure breed, particularly something like a Ridgeback, but all pure breeds really, the people who are breeding them, they want to know that the lineage stays really strong.
Right.
So they don't want you to breed it with. So, for example, her mum might have been perfectly all right, but the owners of the owners of her mum or her mum's mum, sort of thing, don't know much about the dad's side of the family. And if it turns out the dad's side of the family doesn't have a particularly good lineage, then they'll be like, no, we didn't agree to these puppies. They're not going to keep the line of the family strong. Because literally, we've got her mum's family history because all of her descendants are registered with the Kennel Club. So we've got a family tree, literally, of all her parents going all the way back. And so they want to make sure that the lineage is strong. So, for whatever reason, they said, no, you didn't ask us if you could breed with that other dog, and we're not going to agree to it. So
Why does she have to go get
they weren't able to register her, so they had to sell her cheaper. If you've got these registered, they can sell for in excess of £1,000 each.
Wow.
But we got her really cheap. How much
Well,
did we pay for
we
it?
paid
300?
about I think it was £350.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Which is
because
still
she
it's,
she
you know,
didn't
still
have
a
the
lot of
papers.
money,
She
but
didn't have the right papers.
you can have her for a long time, and it's not. I mean, we couldn't have paid over £1,000 for her.
No.
So we did really want a Ridgeback, but we don't want her for showing or for breeding. So it really didn't matter whether she's registered or not. But we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get one because most of them, when you look them up, on the internet, they're a fortune. They're like 1,300, 1,200.
When you think about it, you see the the homeless people, and they have they have big dogs, and you have to feed the dogs.
my phone is
If they don't have enough money to feed themselves, why do they have enough money to feed their dogs?
Well, that's a question that a lot of people ask that. I mean, dogs obviously can eat. I mean, she's got an allergy, so she'd be no good homeless. But most dogs obviously will just eat whatever's in the bin. So I suppose they would find a lot of their food from the bin.
But they have the dogs for as a friend.
Why is he eating my too? You can eat on the table. Look at you.
Please, Jack, please. When you're done, yeah.
Wait.
But make her wait for it.
Wait.
When you want to give it to her, you tell her to stay.
She said yes.
Wait.
Stay.
Stay.
Count to 3.
1,
Up.
2,
Up.
up. 1,
My friend
2,
has a
3. There you go.
go.
It's like
Good
that
girl.
big. It's like a
Oh
horse.
god. What breed is it?
I don't know.
Great Dane.
A bit lighter.
Yeah, nice grip.
There's a lot of stone. Trees not really good there.
Well, it's going to be hard.
Trees going.
That's right.